We have a new president with a broken economy. Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up, strap in. We got a hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows, no sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today. Welcome to the show. I hope everybody's doing absolutely fabulous and great. Wow, so here we go again. Let's jump back on the economic merry-go-round. Around and around we go. One thing's for sure, friends, we were playing basically a game of musical chairs with this economy, and the music stopped. And here's where the potential snafu comes in. We got a new president who had a pretty decent economy going their first go around. So the logical choice apparently was, let's give this guy another shot. But can we really trust him? Listen, friends, I always say, politicians, lawyers, maybe even realtors, right? How much do you really trust them? We're glorified salespeople pushing agendas. But here's the thing, friends, and that's why I always say, this really all circles back to the U.S. housing market. It really, really does. Why? Well, of course, I'm going to tell you. Insanity. I love real estate. I'm a real estate agent. I'm an active real estate agent serving the entire United States. Globally, if I wanted to, but I concentrate here on the U.S. because it's the biggest asset class in the world. That's why we have all the other countries and foreign investors coming and piling into this housing market. Unfortunately, it exhibited bubble behavior once again, and anytime the market exhibits bubble behavior, it's going to come with a percentage of crash risk. I got a little bit disheartened talking to agents telling me this time was different, no crash risk here, promising you no crash risk here. Nobody can guarantee no crash. In fact, you should probably guarantee we will have a crash, but say, I don't think it's going to happen now. It's going to be later. I would be able to stomach that a little better. Why, you ask? Of course, I'm going to tell you. First of all, I suffered the 2008 downturn and suffered some of its blowback as a bill-paying adult, so feel qualified to report on it. And numero dos, number two, for anybody that's here legally, is, I don't know if that was right, but I said it. I'm an active real estate agent playing in the real estate market, and I own and operate real estate, good real estate that I've owned for a long time. The stuff I bought in the last bubble didn't work out so good, so I'm here to protect you with this economic awareness channel so we can, in essence, help each other. If you're new, get subscribed, jump into the comments. Great people helping each other. The conversations are insane. Insanity. But here's the kicker, friends. This is just like a historic, if you're chasing data, which I know many of us are, and I believe there's a place for the data in this, but it will come down to the psychology of people, herd mentality, FOMO, all that kind of fun stuff. And I'm a trained sales guy. I can lead a horse to water. I can't make him necessarily drink, although I'm pretty good at doing that if I so choose. But my job now is to put your needs before my own and have you proceed with caution. But here's the kicker, my friends. We have a new president who's got this is much different from the last economy he inherited. He inherited a very fragile economy that was it's being put through the biggest stress test ever witnessed in human history. Those are the facts. Why, you ask? I'll tell you. Because we overheated the biggest asset class, the U.S. housing market, which if we lose, we will lose everything. It will crash the whole economy, and not just the U.S., the global economy will crash along with it. And throughout recorded history, we've always had booms and busts. So it's never been a question for me if, it's always been when. Could this artificial growth that we used to stimulate this economy during the crisis be the catalyst to cause another crash cycle? And I believe it absolutely, beyond a shadow of a doubt, absolutely has a high percentage of likelihood of doing that. Can I guarantee it? No. And this is where it gets tricky. So our current president is a businessman. Love that. He's talking the talk. He's shown us before that he can run the helm. He was probably, well, for me, definitely the more logical choice, because I think we need to get back to what worked in the past. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I don't think we need to get too progressive and change the wheel on this one. Let's just go back and adopt some of the things that helped the country run in the first place. But unfortunately, it's a runaway train. It's left the station. It's a two-headed monster that's out of its cage with runaway inflation and a risen interest rate environment. And even if we lower their interest rates, it will not save these markets, friends. I know a lot of agents are telling you, yeah, it's just slow right now because of the holidays and the economy and people waiting for the election. I think they're going to drop interest rates and buyers are coming back. Well, you can use hopeism as much as you want, but unfortunately, unless those low interest rates come along with stimulus checks and stimulus programs and mortgage forbearance and PPP loans, it ain't coming back. We've hit the ceiling. The unaffordability index now is of a magnitude that's completely fragile and knocking at the door. A black swan could just crash this thing out of left field. The dominant news channels are all the news channels. The dominant news and headlines will read some kind of big deal. I mean, that's just the realities, right? That's the realities of what the waters we're currently swimming in. So the realities, I believe, are this, friends. The president he's got a big job, right? So what's he going to do? He's going to prop this thing up. He's going to keep it propped up. He's got 4 years. He cannot do 2 terms. He's got 1 term. And the last thing he wants to do is have this thing fail under his watch. So he's going to do whatever he can to keep this thing propped up for at least for the next 4 years. Now, whether he can save the U.S. housing market, that's the million-dollar question, and I believe it might be too big to save. In 2008, it was the narrative around the banks and the financial institutions was, no, the housing market's stable. It's too big to fail. Oh, it failed in spectacular fashion. Unfortunately, now, bigger bubble, bigger blowback with way more to contend with. You know, many of you know who Peter Schiff is. He's a global strategist and economist, and he's a smart guy. He called the last crash. And of course, he's giving economic warnings again. Now, he's not a boots on the ground real estate agent. I talk to people every day. I'm a people person. It's what I do. It's my job. I'm like half salesperson, half therapist. Like when you're making the biggest purchase of your life, you need somebody that brings that level of attention to the equation. And I try to always do that. And I'm willing to sacrifice a sale now. Listen, I've achieved everything I need to achieve in life. I really don't need to achieve anymore, at least monetarily. And you can't take it with you anyway. So why roll the dice for another dollar and burn somebody when you don't need to? I mean, you put other people's needs before your own, you will get rewarded. Guaranteed. It's been my experience. So that's why I continue to turn this camera on. But Peter Schiff made a really, he basically said what I was thinking in a way that I said, you know what? He's right. Let's go ahead and jump over to his Instagram where I saw a post from him. Then we'll meet back here and wrap it up. Let's get started. All right, friends, let's jump over to Peter Schiff's official Instagram account and see what he's up to. His description reads, Peter Schiff, official economist, financial advisor, New York best-selling author, libertarian, pro-gold, and known for predicting the 2008 financial crisis. Yep, that's right. Let's go ahead and jump into one of his recent posts and see what he's saying about our president and what he's up against. Peter Schiff writes, the U.S. economy has been in a bubble ever since the Greenspan era of the 1990s. Every president since has relied on the bubble getting bigger to take credit for the fake economic growth. Trump's plan is to pump in more air and hope the bubble doesn't pop until after his term ends. And there it is there. The truth is usually somewhere in the middle, and in this case, could in fact be dead on. Let's jump back to the studio so we can wrap this one up. All right, friends, welcome back. And there you go. So Peter Schiff is calling it again, and he's calling this one he's saying Trump will do everything in his power to hold this thing up for the next 4 years. And there's a really good chance he might be able to achieve that. In fact, right now we saw pretty much, some would say it's a sucker's rally. As soon as he got elected, the markets loved it. But the reality is this, and I know you're seeing it with your own 2 eyes. You've got to monitor the U.S. housing market. It's the biggest gauge we can use. It's the one that will deliver the knockout blow. Yes, the stock market can crash and it'll crash the economy. But if the housing market crashes, it'll cripple the economy and the global economy. I mean, it's almost like biblical catastrophic what it's capable of doing. It is that crazy. And we're already seeing, what are we seeing? The dreaded falling knife, the stuck on the market, the days on market, the price reductions. It's spiking. It's moving across the country. So now these are the waters we're currently playing in. Now it becomes the million-dollar question. Can the biggest artificially induced asset bubble, specifically the housing market, can it sustain itself? Can it really, I was going to say suffer or enjoy, depends on how you're looking at this, another run-up? I believe we've hit a ceiling. You're not going to see any more run-ups. In fact, you're more at risk now of catching the dreaded falling knife. You're going to buy something and watch it go down in value. And that's all right, as long as it doesn't take those 50% haircuts like we saw in 2008. There's a good chance you might only suffer minimal price reductions, but if in fact Peter Schiff and others are right that we do in fact have another crash knocking at the door, those 50% are coming. And there's a lot of areas that are like the Texases and the Floridas and the Denvers and Utah. I mean, there's a lot of states already starting to show massive, massive reverse courses. It just couldn't sustain artificial growth. And that's in fact what it was. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, as a real estate guy that wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand the waters you're swimming in now. They're shark infested. Trump, welcome to the swimming pool. Welcome back to the swimming pool. We played a game of musical chairs with the biggest asset class in the world, the U.S. housing market. If Peter Schiff is right, he says you're going to be able to hold this thing up for 4 years, look like the hero, and then get out, and this thing potentially could crash. I'm of the mindset that there's no way you can save this one. It's too big to save. It's now temperature check, heat map, monitor, the whole thing. Read between the lines and look between the cracks to see which areas are exhibiting that crash behavior. It's in fact started. Unless I can see this thing reverse and it take off again in a meaningful way, there's no way I'm buying into it. And that's why I'll be here to blow the lid off it every step of the way. Because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to follow me there, along with the links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It would be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, you're gonna love the next video, and there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. God bless. I'll see you on the next video.